Hello Sagittarius and welcome to your in-depth forecast for February 2023 for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you some key features to look out for, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give you in forensic detail all the key influences and timings particularly specific to your sign. Now, of course, your sign is governed by Jupiter and it continues its journey in your fellow fire sign of Aries. But there is going to be an incredibly special opportunity which develops at the end of the month. So I'm really excited to share that with you. But there's also going to be some important conversations this month. And the choice of words you use and the way you convey your message is going to be incredibly important. And also, this will be true of a financial matter or something that's really important to your core values, as much as just a general conversation. But it's also a month that begins in an incredibly energized fashion with the Sun and Mars in a perfect trine. And this suggests that some kind of collaboration or partnership or team situation or even a romantic relationship can really be sparked in the most wonderful and vibrant ways. So lots to share with you, Sagittarius. If you're a returning visitor to my channel, thank you so much for joining me once more. If you're new to me, I'd be honoured if you subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. I've had 29 million views on YouTube and I treasure every single one I've had. However, if you've yet to order your year 2023 personal forecast, so you can rise above this zodiac broadcast, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place of birth, I can give you your forecast for the next year and also your life roadmap in my special package of 30% off, which helps you to understand some of the deeper patterns that have come up for you, good and bad, and help you to become more intimate with how to deal with these and how to gain traction from working with your strengths more closely. Also, in my special package, you can get your zodiac forecast for the year, your Chinese and Indian forecast too. Please see the link beneath this video. So Sagittarius, your February begins with Venus, the planet of love and relating, in your 4th house, very much to do with your home. There may be a home improvement project that really grabs your imagination this month, but the Sun is in the sign of Aquarius, and of course that is where Saturn is too. So that's going to be an important theme as this month evolves. But it does begin with Mars in your 7th house of relating, but also where you can compete and set your boundaries in that very vibrant link with the Sun. So I think there could be a really important meeting or connection or conversation right at the start of the month, which sets the tone and really gives you a sense of anticipation about what February can hold. But by the 5th, we do have a full moon. And you are someone who has a great gift of downloading lots of knowledge. And you could find yourself in a debate in the following 2 weeks, but that debate may be with someone closer to you about whether to continue with a particular approach that you've been investing your time and energy in, or perhaps trying something that's different and more experimental. Because you are someone who's quite open to that type of stuff, it may be the other person who's wanted to stay more with what's been more familiar. But because Uranus is in the mix, in your 6th house of work and life organisation, this conversation that you ultimately have could prove to be a bit disruptive. And from the 8th through to the 12th, because Mercury is side by side with Pluto, there may be a financial dimension to the conversation that you need to have. So it may be in a business context. It may be that you're needing to speak to someone about your income or about how you use your money, and it could be a very powerful connection. But on the 11th, Mercury moves into Aquarius, joining it with the Sun and Saturn, and that's going to see a speeding up of your thinking. But on week 3, the Sun starts to align exactly with Saturn, and that of course coincides with Valentine's Day on the 14th. So if you're in a long-term relationship and you and your partner are very much on the same page, it's going to be a great opportunity to just remind each other about how solidly you are in one another's corners. But if you are seeing things in a different way, or there's different philosophies competing, or one of you wants to do something more daring and dashing, then that could throw up some issues. On the 18th, the combination of the moon combining with Pluto could see you taking a matter to do with your self-worth very seriously. For example, if someone says something and you feel that there's not even an intentional slight, you could find yourself being a little bit more triggered. But also on the same day, the Sun moves to join with Neptune and Venus in your 4th house. And of course, Venus has encouraged you earlier in the month to enjoy a home crafting hobby, or perhaps do those decorative changes. But once the Sun moves, this is your chance to really have 4 weeks of just understanding how things feel. And for Sagittarian people generally, the conversations, the big discussion over different events in the world, information generally is really food and water to you. But the Sun moving into your 4th house is asking you to be much more in touch with the more emotional dimension of your situation. But it's not going to be all inward, because on the 20th, Venus glides into Aries, joining up, of course, with Jupiter. But there's more about that later. But on the 20th, there is also a new moon. So if you're wanting to make some big changes at home, a time when you can really set your intentions, whether it's moving altogether, continuing with that improvement project, perhaps adding to your family, but Saturn's in the mix. It's very close to the new moon, though still just in Aquarius. So your emotional situation may seem a bit serious, and there may be a cool conversation with someone around you. But by the 27th and the 28th, Venus has moved forwards and comes into a beautiful conjunction with your ruler Jupiter in the 5th house. This could lead to a social invitation. It may even be a romantic connection with someone. Venus and the Sun are also in a really sweet semi-sextile for the last week of this month. And if you can, stay in touch with how you feel, and at the same time show that warmth and affection and bubbliness that comes from Venus being in the 5th house, it's an awesome set of energies to embrace. So I feel that what you say and how you say it are going to be really critical this month. And it may be that someone won't see things the same way, so your responses to that are going to be important. But as the month goes on, it is much more about how you feel and where you live and how you live there and who with. It's been a real pleasure being with you, Sagittarius. If you would be so kind, please sub, comment or like. Thank you.